Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the For Change Makers Daily, where it is our little job every single day to come here and for 10, 15 minutes share with you some of our experience, some tools, some tactics, some strategies, some learnings that we have along the way as well that might help you to grow a purpose-driven business. So, first of all, I would like to welcome. Hey, Sina, how are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing amazing. Really good. I love those little breakfast sessions we have because they really energize me and pump me for the day, which is amazing. And yeah, today we have another topic that is sales related. So we always
What's
covered
the topic of the day, Sina?
topic of the day, and we always cover topics that people from our community ask us. So this is a question on yeah, what are the common mistakes in sales calls and how to avoid that? And this is what we're going to cover today. And so the first one is a very important one. And yeah, so Fernando, maybe you can give the intro into the first topic.
Yes, exactly. So, as Sina said, this is something that we receive a question. This question, a lot of times. So we created a list of what are the three biggest and more common mistakes that people make in sales, or we're conducting a sales process. So we're going to break down what are the three biggest mistakes, so you can understand and make sure that you're not making these mistakes with your sales process. So the number one is that. Sales is about serving, and serving is about caring, and caring is about also taking about the leadership. It's really understanding what are the pains, what are the desires that your prospect wants, and you take the leadership on that. So meaning that you want to understand, you want to ask a lot of questions, you really want to be the one in control and taking the lead of that conversation. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people don't do that. Okay, and what happened is that the prospect, that the client, or the buyer is the one that is in control and taking the lead of the conversation. So they are the one asking questions. They are the one, okay, you tell me why I should buy from you. Okay, and what about this, and what about that? And they are asking you about a bunch of questions, and inexperienced salespeople, they end up being in the corner just trying to answer all these questions, and that's just wrong, because you cannot really assess and you cannot really understand from that position if what you have can really serve the prospect. So it's really important, to take that lead. And as I'm saying, it happened to me, by the way. So this is something that I learned through the experience. When I was beginning on this, normally I would go, hey, you know what, I have this product, and then I would just, like, shut up. And then the people, I will give the lead to other people, so they will start asking me a bunch of questions. So I will be, like, kind of like following the conversation, and that's not definitely how you really serve and help people. That's the number one.
Yeah, I think this one is so important because when you talk about leadership, there's so many different also levels of leadership in a sales conversation. And it's not only about like taking the leadership of the conversation by yeah, creating also like a context where the other person can open up, where they feel good about like sharing, and where you control the situations by asking the right questions. But it's also taking leadership of the energy. So, for example, if you're with the prospect and you have the feeling that throughout the conversation you're kind of losing them because I don't know, their energy goes down, they're not really aware anymore, they don't really listen anymore. There are so many different areas where it's important to then take the leadership. And what I really recommend, if you're with a prospect in a conversation, you feel like, oh, this person right now, yeah, is just thinking about something else, I kind of lost them. Just yeah, point it out. Just like, hey, I just have a feeling right now that yeah, I'm just aware that you're like not 100% present with me anymore. Is there maybe something that you didn't understand, something that I should explain again, or just, and they will immediately be back just by pointing it out. And so yeah, this is
That's a
definitely,
really good one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Also, continuing the line of Sina, and just also like a quick tip. So things, not only a theory, but things that you can really go and do. Remember this, and write it down, by the way, the person who is asking the questions is the person who is leading that conversation, the person that is in control of that situation. Think about when you mess up, something when you were a kid, and then you come late home. Who is asking the questions? Your parents, right? Like, where are you doing? What are you doing? Why you're so late? And blah blah. They are asking the questions. Same thing with the doctor. You go to the doctor and they're like, okay, what's your problem? What is hurting? When did it started? Who is asking the questions? The doctor. So just remember that the person who is asking the questions is the one that is in control of the situation. So in a sales conversation, specifically at the beginning, you want to be the one asking a lot of questions.
Absolutely. Yeah. And one more thing that is also a part of taking the leadership is when you're in the sales conversations, to also pause in between. So if you ask a question and you feel like your prospect is not answering immediately, it's maybe a question where they also feel a little bit uncomfortable because you might point out some of their pain points. I know that it might feel uncomfortable, but just sit in the silence. And because it's sometimes, if you just wait a little bit, this is where you're gonna get like the pearls of like wisdom from your prospects, where they really open up and share, and you can learn so much from them, what they need and how you can help them. And yeah, so this is also part of taking the leadership. So if you feel like uncomfortable because maybe the other person is not answering immediately, yeah, just sit with it, and don't just come up with the next question immediately just because you feel uncomfortable, because this is not taking leadership. Yeah, so those are all the points for the first common mistake. So I would say let's go over to the second one. And the second one is also, yeah, one that I see a lot in clients we work with in the past, when I was also working in sales as an employee. And it's a little bit related with the first one. So yeah, when you talk with a prospect, it is really absolutely not about you. It is not about your products. It's not about your services. It is about the prospect. It's about their pain points. It's about their challenges. It is about their desires. So when you have a sales conversation, really common mistake a lot of people do is they just talk like 70%, and the prospect just has, or they're lucky, maybe time to speak 30%. But it's not about like pitching from beginning to the end your products and how great your business is, because it's about them. You want to serve them. You want to get to know more about them so that you can really serve them. And so yeah, just get your ego maybe a little bit out of it, and just really take the time to ask a lot of questions and give them the space to answer them. And also be honest when you have a feeling that maybe you are not the right fit for them to solve their problems. Because it's not, you're not going to help yourself, you're not going to help your client if you feel like you're not a good match. And this always works both ways. Your prospect might have the feeling that you're not the right fit, but you might also have the feeling that they are not the right fit because you prefer to work with different type of clients. And this is also part of that. So it was a big learning that I had in the past when I was working in sales as an employee. And there was a company I was working for, and they never really gave a shit. So for them it was all about the numbers. So get the prospects in, get the clients in. And sometimes I really felt like, oh my god, but our services, they're just not gonna help them. But it didn't really count. It was just about the money. And I think this is one of the common mistakes in sales as well, because you're also not going to really enjoy working with them, and just use your energy and time to find clients that are really good fit.
Yeah, makes absolutely sense. And also, just like, I mean, we're talking right now about going up there and asking questions and understanding, your client, and taking the leadership, and not go on pitch. But perhaps you're wondering, okay, but what moment, should I go and actually talk about my products and services? Because of course, at one moment you have to do that. So the thing is that, of course, but there's a time and place where you go when you talk about yourself and how great your products are and how unique they are and how you differentiate from your competition, and all the stuff. There's a time and space, to do that, within the sales process. But it's certainly not at the beginning. So people, jump from "I never heard from you" to suddenly, like receiving, hey, this is how we do, and this is how we can help you, and this is why we're great, we're so great, and this is why you should do business with us, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know you, so there is a time and place in order to go and to talk about that, but it's definitely not at the beginning. So being aware about your sales process and understanding that, I would say, that it's the critical thing. And the common mistake is that people just jump into that because they think that selling is about talking about themselves and how great they are. And they go through the world, just like pitching people. And that's so salesy, and especially in today's world, it's like, oh my God, like, I don't even like you, dude. And we have also like so many examples of people that approach us, that we never heard about them, and we receive, like these long messages or pitch stuff like that. It's like, I don't even read them.
No, me neither. Yeah, and it's also like Fernando and I, we develop like a sales process that we also like teach our clients and in our programs. And I just remember just a few weeks ago we had a workshop with a client. And we introduced them to the sales process, and what we told them there is also, okay, if you reach out to like a cold prospect, so you never talked with them before, the first thing you want to do is to have a meaningful conversation with them. So you don't pitch anything in this first conversation. It's about building a relationship. It's about really understanding their needs, and like also warm this relationship up. And when we shared it with our client, they were so grateful for it, because they were like, oh my God, I was like always so afraid that I have to do all those cold calls now and immediately pitch to a stranger where I don't feel comfortable. But just knowing that the first thing is just about having a meaningful conversation. Yes, I can do that. Of course I can do that. It's just like human to human interaction. And
like, can you be a normal human and go and just like talk with a non-human? Can you do that? Yeah, of course you can do that. Do that.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So to sum this second point up, yeah, it's not about you, it's not about your product, it's not about your business, it's about your prospect, about your clients, about their needs, to really serve them, to build a connection, to build a relationship, and then at some point you can place and pitch your services and products. And then the last one, it's again a point that is also related with your ego, and especially when you have your own business and it's the services, the products you created. So you're definitely very passionate about them. You care a lot about them. There's like a lot of your own personality in them. So it makes you feel vulnerable when you go out there into the world and you want to sell them. And if someone says no to you, it just feels like they not only say no to your services and your products, but they also say no to you as a person. So it's a very common feeling people have in sales when they have their own business, when they're self-employed. And so, yeah, what we want to recommend you is to try to detach yourself from the outcome. So when you go into a conversation with a prospect, just put on like this kind of like discovery hat. So okay, I'm going to go now into a conversation with another human being, and I'm just going to learn about their needs, their pain points, and it doesn't really matter if I'm going to sell now at the end my product. Just take this a little bit out of the equation, because if you just focus on the outcome and just focus on making a sale and making the money, it's sometimes you just stiffen up. So it's hard to be yourself, because you enter like scarcity mode. And when you're not yourself and you're not authentic, the other person always feels it. They can sense it. And it's having like a big effect on the positive outcome in the end, for sure.
Yes. So if you think about it as well, like these principles and these common mistakes as well, they build up upon itself. So when you truly care about going and serving and taking the leadership and understanding other people's situation, and from there see what you have can really help them, then it just like makes sense that that's where your focus is, and it's not put in, as Sina said, in the outcome. So it's just like you are in a different place, and when you're so attached to the outcome, normally you play some kind of role. And playing some kind of role, it's not being your authentic self. People can sense that. So what happened there is that people can sense that you're not being you. so they don't trust you. And believe me, nobody will do business with somebody that they don't trust, you know, unless like you have like a gun in your head, uh, that's it, like trust is like the basic building block in order to any human relationship, and sales, it's also like a human relationship because there's exchange of something, you're giving money and I'm giving you some product or service. So that's why playing to your authentic self and just caring, and if you're attracted to us, by the way, and you're watching this right now, you have some sort of purpose-driven business. So that means that you have a great heart. You really want to give to the world. You want to do something, meaningful, build a legacy, fight climate change. So you're in essence a really good person, so you don't need to go and play, like somebody else, and you just need to be who you are, and people will be just attracted naturally to you because for sure you're such a beautiful person. So, and as I'm saying, I don't think as well that you are in business because of money. Probably you are in business because of a higher purpose. So just like detach yourself from that, and if you get a no, don't take it personal, just like don't oscillate in those emotional states. Just be centered, just like be inspired of what you do. And funny enough, it happened to us, and I cannot even name you, like all the hundred of examples that I know of other people, that the moment that they start doing that, like the magic happens and your results start, getting better and better and better. So the moment you detach from the outcome, the funny thing, your results start getting better. But it's kind of like the byproduct. So if you want to get better results, detach yourself from the outcome. It's some sort of counterintuitive, but it works.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think those are the 3 points. And since
Exactly.
we want to make this for Change Makers Daily more or less around about 15 minutes, I think it's also time to come to an end. But yeah,
Yes, exactly.
those are the 3 common mistakes people make in sales and sales calls. I hope it was valuable for you guys. And yeah, if you have more questions, just post them in the comments below, and we're happy to answer them as well.
Okay, great. So whenever you're listening this, wish you an awesome day ahead, and see you soon. Ciao, ciao.